everyone. This is Susan, the Youth Services Manager at the Forest Park Public Library, and I'm here today with some very special guests. So this is our next installment in our community spotlight, and I heard about this fantastic podcast and wanted to really hear their story. So welcome today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, thanks for having us. I'm Lindsay Farley, and I live in Oak Park, so very close to the wonderful Forest Park Library. And I used to be a teacher and a math facilitator in an elementary building, and now work with Kiddywink crew. And I have two kids. I have a 4.5-year-old son and a 17-month-old baby girl.
Yes, and I'm Juliana Bria. I'm the other half of the Kiddywink crew, and I live in Chicago, downtown Chicago. I have one son currently, another one very soon on the way. And my past before Kiddywink crew was a holistic health coach and also HR background.
Can you explain for us what brought you to podcasting?
Yeah, absolutely. We became fast friends with our sons and realized we parent in a very similar way. And one of the things we both do is tell stories to our boys, and we use it as a teaching moment and also just fun, silly stories too. But we found that it's a really great way to get across any sort of message. So if they were struggling with sharing toys, we could easily come up with a story about Bob and Bill having a hard time sharing toys, and they didn't really see the connect, they didn't know we were sort of tricking them into learning something. So we realized this would be great to put out into the world. We were a little frustrated with some of the stories out there and felt like we could create something that parents and caregivers and kids would enjoy.
How would you pitch the Kiddywink podcast for a brand new listener who's never heard of it before?
Well, I think that Kiddywink crew we always say they're there to make stories that make the world a little bit better. And that's truly what it's all about. So it's a diverse and loving place to learn, explore, and grow. And we want to represent everybody in the community, and kids, 2 to 10 are ideal for our listening viewership, but anybody and everybody is welcome. And we adore new concepts, and focusing on what kids actually are dealing with and struggling with is something that we want to tackle. So, whether it's sharing or trying to sit still or, making new friends, all of the things, a new family member in the family, hitting your siblings, we cover it all. So we're there to support parents and caregivers, and we're also there to really entertain and be a partner with children. We have Ozzy is our mascot for Kiddywink crew. And we picked Ozzy, the octopus, because octopus have 3 hearts, and we believe in, showing up with love. There's more as parents and caregivers. You have so much love to share, and your heart is in every direction. But for children, it's the 3 hearts are, sharing love with your body, your mind, and your words, and how you can do that on a day-to-day basis.
I love that. And the inclusivity was one of the things that really impressed me about it when I had discovered it. How do you go about structuring your stories to keep them authentic and representative of everyone?
We do a lot of research to make sure that we're painting an accurate picture, and we really remain inquisitive and want to figure out what people, we poll our audience too on Instagram a lot, like what is an issue that you feel like isn't brought up, or do you have a kid with a name that they never hear anywhere, or whatever it might be. We really love hearing from listeners, and so that's a great place where we can help make sure everything is inclusive.
That's really wonderful and responsible. So I know you said your stories really run the gamut of subjects. What's your favorite kind of story to feature on the podcast?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah, we like unique stories.
Yeah.
So, our first series is all about animals, and we love our story about a zebra and an alligator, but we really love our umbrella bird, the U story. So, unique animals like an umbrella bird was fun to bring to the surface. And then with our sports series, we have a bunch of different sports. We have 26 sports, and one was cricket, which we quickly realized is an incredibly popular sport that we don't talk about here in the US very much. So our favorite kind of story is a story about something that we don't think gets enough airtime in our main subject. And also like within our stories, so both the animal and the sports one, we have some like sneaky education in there, which is also our favorite kind of story, where we can embed the sports ones. We have geometry and geography embedded, and with the animals, we have letters and numbers. And so we love to have those in our stories too.
And going back to inclusivity, what's beautiful about podcasts is that they're global. So we have fans from all over the place. It's not just American fans and listeners. And so when we talk about cricket, it's new to American audiences, but a lot of people in Australia, field hockey, lacrosse, we were talking about these sports, and it's exciting to hear people in other places in Australia and Africa, South Africa, different areas that's their sport. Rugby's their sport, or whatever it is. So that's a really cool way to be inclusive as well.
I feel like podcasts have been such a great opportunity for people to connect. I feel like, especially over the earlier part of the pandemic time, it just kind of exploded, and it's been such a rich area, I think. So I think this is perfect time for something like this.
Yeah.
We do too. And it was something we needed. I mean, it came out of necessity. It was something that we were searching for. And we find it a great tool, especially for times when you're a little flustered, or you need, maybe someone else there, and you not necessarily want to have your children in front of a screen. We found great success with car rides where whole families can listen. And even my husband still is like, I didn't know that. And like the giraffe episode, he's like, how many spots do they have? It's so it's fun that you're still listening as an adult, and you're not annoyed, or you don't have to tune out. You can do it as a family. And that's been a really fun part of the process too.
Yeah, for sure. And then one other piece to add with, you said it's such a great way to connect to others. At the very end of each podcast episode, we have a Call a Kiddywink section where we have a kid who calls in, and we actually record just like this on Zoom with a kid, and then we just use the audio, but we talk all about the story. And I find that my son, when he's listening to the stories, he's like, oh my gosh, that kid lives all the way in Australia, or that kid lives in New York. Where is that? And so there's this connection piece between kids as well, which we really love. And then we get to connect with the parents who reach out to us and say, like, we love this podcast, and my son or daughter would like to be on the show. So connection's huge.
Is there a collaboration with either a musician or another podcast to be like your dream partnership? And do you have any partnerships in the works?
Well, Kiddywink crew here, we dream very big.
We do.
So we're motivated by big companies like, PBS has great things going. Sesame Street, huge motivation for us. And we, in the future can see Ozzy, the octopus, as a great character for them. But we also love small companies too. There's Busy Toddler. It's more on the social media side, huge inspiration. Lindsay and I both love and adore. And then,
not a very small company.
Not a very small company, but compared to Sesame Street, I think everything kind of is. Yeah, not a small company, a wonderful, inspiring company. And then there's locally, we love Mr. Dave. We love Big City Readers. And those are always, if you don't know about them, you should look them up. They're great, Chicago-based company.
So you said you dream big. I know a lot of kids podcasters have gone on to write books like The Story Pirates and The Fast and the Curious. Is that something that would ever interest you? And are there any plans to expand your podcast into other venues?
We're always expanding. And good news, Lindsay here, half of Kiddywink, is already an author. And this is her book, And Above Par Day. It's fabulous. And she was inspired by her son's own love for golf. So I highly recommend her book. And as for Kiddywink crew in general, we do already start with series books. So this is Ozzy. I don't know if you can see that on there, but we have our series books. This is for our first series. It was 1 through 26, A through Z, and we focused on animals, numbers. And so what's great about those car rides is you can listen to the story, and then you have 4 different sheets that you can do in our coloring book. One is a coloring page, one is for the letter, and one is a math sheet. So we have those that correspond with the stories as well. So we're already in that space, and we definitely are branching into new territory. We're taking on YouTube next. So look out.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Our stories are already there. So if you don't want to give your kid your phone, you can set it up on your TV or your iPad as well on YouTube. And we're going to have lots more to come.
Mhm.
Fantastic. I'm excited about those books too. I would love to maybe get you out for a guest reading sometime.
Would
That would
love
be
that.
wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. We
So
love
do you-
collaborating with libraries. That
Oh,
should have
thank
added that
you.
answer too with
Yeah.
collaborations. Yeah.
Yeah, we love partnerships and we love our local authors. So hopefully we can work that out.
Yeah.
Here's one of the best.
Would love it.
So outside of your own, of course, what are your favorite podcasts that you listen to in your off time, if you have any off time?
Yeah, well, we don't have off time, right? So, moms out there, you all know this, dads, all of it. So Mo News is our go-to like adult one because
Yeah.
we can get a quick snippet of the news. We had Jill Wagner, who's the co-host. We had her daughter on our podcast, which was such a blast. She's incredible. And then we love Big Little Feelings.
Yes.
They're like after bedtime one is a fun listen. And Good Inside with Dr. Becky. So those, like, we'll do those in the car, on a walk to the park, whenever we can. And then Circle Around is another great storytelling one that we like. Yeah.
People, how they can find your podcast and stay up to date with what's going on with the Kiddywink crew.
Well, luckily, you can find our podcast everywhere and anywhere. So any platform we are on, including YouTube. So it's pretty easy to find us. You can please check out our website, kiddywinccrew.com. We do send out a newsletter. It's only once a month, but it's jam-packed with free material, different ideas, usually an art project. We love collaborating with other authors. So there's a lot of really cool books that you might not know about. And that would be the best way. We're on all the platforms too, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So come find us, be part of the crew with us. We would love to include you.
Yes, we would. Absolutely.
And we will definitely link to your website in the comments when we post this. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I know you both are very busy people. It took us a little while for us to work this out, but I am so appreciative, and I know that our families will be too. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Susan. Appreciate it.
And we can't wait to see you at the library soon.
Yeah.